Okay, so my number 20 movie for top 20 superheroes is Daredevil. I'm going to explain this. For its time, it was not a bad movie at all. Um, if you think about the other options I had, which was like X-Men 3, The Last Stand, Fantastic Four, Ghost Rider, those were all even worse than Daredevil. So, its time will probably be about up come later this month because I can guarantee you Days of Futures Past is going to knock it out of my top 20. But for now, it's sitting there at number 20. And honestly, it was not a bad movie. Some people have a lot of problems with the way Ben Affleck played Daredevil, and although this movie would have been way better had someone else played him, I didn't think he did a terrible job with it. Um, and it kept me entertained. If a superhero movie can keep me entertained and not have me look at the clock and go, how long has gone by, then it's a decent movie. The other option that I had was Green Lantern, and I prefer Daredevil over Green Lantern. So, um, yeah. Number 19 is the Wolverine. Uh, I liked the Wolverine better than X-Men. X-Men The Last Stand, and obviously better than X-Men Origins Wolverine, because that movie was just god awful. But the Wolverine, uh, you could tell that it didn't have the budget of the other X-Men movies. It was definitely had some pretty decent action scenes, but a lot of it was, samurai type fighting, which it wasn't a bad movie at all, but it doesn't. I'm trying to think what I'm trying to say here. It doesn't have enough budget, special effects, and storyline, even the storyline, to make it into my top 15 even. So, The Wolverine is number 19 on my list. So, continuing on, The Incredible Hulk is number 18. Uh, it was a good movie. The actor that played Hulk, Edward Norton, did a much better job than the first Hulk that was. I don't even know. I can't remember what his name was, but that was just not a good movie at all. But this one was decent, and uh, it is my first film from the Marvel Cinematic Universe in my list. Um, I just thought that it was not a bad movie at all, and although now I can definitely say that I wish Mark Ruffalo had been the Hulk and the Incredible Hulk, and I'm still hoping he gets his own movie. But for number 18, the Incredible Hulk. Number 17, Watchmen. You want to talk about an abstract, out there superhero film? It's Watchmen. It takes everything you think you know about superhero movies and spins it on its axis. The characters that we believe to be heroes in the beginning of the film are actually, not heroes whatsoever. And the one that is portrayed as the villain is actually the hero in the movie. So it was a crazy film. The way Zack Snyder did the film, it was very close to the graphic novel. And overall, I thought it was a good movie. Um, so it takes the 17th spot on my list. Number 16, SpiderMan. When I first saw this movie, it had been the weekend right after someone in my family passed away. I still think it might have affected my liking of the overall movie, just because you go to a movie at that point to get away from real life, and then real life ends up showing itself in the movie when Uncle Ben dies. Uh, I don't think my family was expecting that, and it made that movie a little bit rough on us. As far as now when I watch it, I don't care for the way they did the Green Goblin. The actor that plays the Green Goblin was awesome, but just his Power Ranger-esque suit was not very good. And then if we look at the origin story for Peter Parker and Spider-Man, this movie making it be that his web shooters are actually in his skin, I didn't care for that at all. Not one bit. And that kind of really affected the movie for me as well. So, number 16 is Spider-Man. X-Men 2. This was definitely better in my opinion than the first X-Men. The first X-Men was okay. X-Men 2 started bringing me more into that franchise, although X-Men 3 just about lost me. But X-Men 2 was a pretty good film in my opinion, and yeah, I don't have much else to say about that. Wolverine was obviously amazing, and Cyclops has always been my favorite from the X-Men. So, overall, it was a good movie, and it takes the 15th spot on my list. Number 14, Thor. As you realize, this is the second film from the Marvel Cinematic Universe on my list, and it gets the 14th spot. It was a pretty good movie. The actor that they got to play Thor and Loki were just right on. That's exactly who they should have cast for those two. Especially Loki. Loki steals the show in Thor, and even in another movie, I think he is a big part of that movie and one of the reasons why people like it so well. But I'm trying to think if there's anything else. The reason it's not in my top 10 is because the origin story of Thor is very out there. It involves the celestial universe in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it's a very abstract idea. So Thor is number 14 on the list. 13 on my list, and I'm probably going to get some hate for this one, The Amazing Spider-Man 2. That's right, I liked The Amazing Spider-Man 2 more than the first Spider-Man. Now, if I had to summarize the film in one sentence, it would pretty much be that, oh my gosh, Peter Parker and Spider-Man's life just sucks. And that theme is throughout the whole film. There is really not a happy tone to this film at all. The only time that the theme of the movie of his life just sucking is alleviated is when Garfield is doing his Spider-Man witty banter that was in the comic books. Those jokes, that's about the only time that that theme is not present. If you have not seen the movie, I'm going to give you a spoiler warning right now. Do not watch what I'm going to say. To summarize this theme even more, I'm going to give you an overall idea of the movie. Beginning of the movie, he's with Gwen Stacy. Then he breaks up. He starts to get with Gwen Stacy again, starts, developing a relationship, and then he's like, nope, that's enough. He finally accepts, that he's going to follow Gwen Stacy wherever she goes. He's going to love her and be with her. And then he fights the enemy and she dies. Yeah. So that pretty much just tells you that, yeah, his life just sucked throughout the whole film. But even further support is his best friend comes back. His best friend's dad died. He has Peter Parker and SpiderMan. His blood supposedly can cure Harry, and Peter is too worried that it's going to have bad effects on Harry, and Harry's not willing to wait for Peter to come up with the antidote, I guess I would say, blood antidote that would cure Harry, and he ends up losing his best friend over this. And then even further support is he saves a electrical worker. That guy becomes obsessed with Spider-Man and adores Spider-Man and wants to be exactly like Spider-Man. And then something happens and he becomes his enemy. It was just crazy. So, yeah. Amazing Spider-Man 2 is number 13 on my list.